Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video this week is about a very special trip I went on last year. If you know me and my family, we are huge Disney parks nerds, and my plan in life is to visit every single one of them in the whole of the world, and at the moment we've done 4 of them and we've still got 2 to go. So this video is about my trip to Tokyo Disneyland Resort. We also had one day in the centre of Tokyo as well, which I will film in a couple of weeks' time for you about that whole day and see what I got up to then. So let's get on with the video. This trip was something I had thought about and planned over about a year. It took me quite a long time to plan this whole trip because it's so hard to find travel companies in England that will take you to Tokyo Disneyland. And I actually surprised my sister with this trip on Christmas Day 2019, and I have a really adorable video of her opening a present. I actually wrapped a load of boxes into each other, so it was a bit like a pass the parcel type thing.
Oh, you wrapped it in a million boxes, hadn't you?
So she had to unwrap each layer and then finally get to a little box which had a little card in it that said in it, "We are going to Tokyo Disneyland." And we both just burst out crying because we both dreamed about going to this place for such a long time, and I was actually making our dreams come true. On the 15th of June 2019, me, my sister and my dad travelled all the way to Tokyo. We had a flight from Manchester to Paris Charles de Gaulle, which I think was about an hour and a half. And then we had a 13-hour flight from Charles de Gaulle to Tokyo. The 13-hour flight was the longest I've ever done in my whole life, but actually it went quite quickly, so it wasn't too bad. When we arrived at the airport, I had sorted out a little transfer, and this man came he had white gloves on, his car was super fancy, he even had like water bottles in the car for us. It was such a nice first impression of Tokyo. And as we were leaving the airport car park, we actually got a sight of Mount Fuji. We could see it as the sun was setting and it was beautiful. I didn't think that we'd be able to see it. I didn't actually know we were that close to it, and it just really sunk in that we were actually there. The hotel that we stayed at in Tokyo was called the Sheraton Grand. It was the perfect place to stay for us because it was on Disney property but not owned by Disney, which made it a little bit cheaper for us. And it was in the perfect spot for us to get to the places we wanted to visit in Tokyo and also the Disneyland Resort. It was actually about, I don't know, maybe about a 5-minute walk away from the monorail station, which took you to all the 2 parks, Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea. So it was absolutely perfect. I would definitely recommend that hotel to anybody who was planning on going to Tokyo. This sounds such a weird thing to say, but the monorails at Tokyo Disneyland Resort were actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to go. They are so beautifully themed, it's incredible. They actually have, so they're all different colours, they have different themes on them, like I think one of them was a Duffy summer theme, the other ones are just kind of Mickey and Friends themed. All the windows are Mickey shaped, and also the handrails were all Mickey shaped, and everything was absolutely spotless. It was the cleanest train I've ever been on in my life. Our first day in Tokyo Disneyland was so special. It was weird to be in a park that looked really familiar but was also extremely different because their main street is actually called World Bazaar, and it actually has a little cover over the top of it because it rains a lot in Tokyo. So it was like the inside of it was quite familiar, but it was also really strange because it had a roof. It was also like, it was really, really hot and there wasn't much aircon as well, so that was a bit of a difference from like Florida where there's like aircon everywhere. But then as you walked out of World Bazaar, you saw the castle and it was beautiful. It's the same castle as the one at Florida, but like a slightly different colour scheme, but also now they've just changed the colours in Florida, so it's a completely different colour now, so that works a little bit better. But there was just loads of space. I think they deliberately designed it like this because the crowds in Tokyo are immense. Like, we got there on park opening and it was packed with people. There was hundreds running to their favourite rides. The very first thing we did when we got there was obviously walk down World Bazaar and see the castle and take a couple of the iconic pictures that you have in front of every Disney castle. But then we headed straight to the fast pass queue for the Winnie the Pooh ride because everybody says that is the one thing you need to do as you're entering the park, because it's the most popular ride in the whole park, and it's also one that's not in any of the other Disney parks, so it's one we've never experienced before. So we ran straight to the fast pass queue, which was already like, I think we could have waited a good half an hour for that just to get a little ticket that said you could go on the ride later on in the day, which is insane that people do that. But it's the thing you do in Disney, and that's what we did, and we really enjoyed it. I can't say it was as amazing as people have said it is, but it was really good. And then we went to find some breakfast. The one thing I was extremely excited for was the food in Tokyo Disneyland, because they have all sorts of different things. And the one thing I really wanted was a Mike Wazowski melon bread. And we found one for breakfast this morning. So it's like a little round green piece of bread with Mike Wazowski's face on it, and it tastes like melons. It was the best kind of bread I've ever eaten in my life, and I'm so glad it was on my bucket list and I got the chance to find it on our very first day. I feel like the food in Tokyo Disneyland is one of the really important things you have to do when you're there, because there's all sorts of different things. And another thing is their popcorn. They have literally every flavour of popcorn you can imagine. We even walked past a stand in Disney Sea that was selling garlic shrimp popcorn. We didn't actually try it. I was a little intrigued, but every time we walked past it, it smelled a little bit funny. When we were tasting all the different popcorns, I actually realised that every stand there was a unique popcorn bucket. But when you actually walk around Tokyo Disneyland, you actually realise it's like a little accessory that everybody has. It's like everybody's carrying around this huge plastic popcorn bucket as a handbag. So immediately I thought I needed one of those. So it took me pretty much half of the day to walk around all the popcorn stands and see the one I wanted. And when I found the one I wanted, which was a Steamboat Willie popcorn bucket, and I think I fell in love with it.
Look at my popcorn bucket! Wait a minute, I can't get to it.
I walked around with it the whole time we were in Tokyo. I'm thinking about doing a completely different video about all the food we ate at Tokyo, because we had so many different things, and I think it would be a really exciting video. So please go and comment down below if that would be a video you would like to see from me. And I've got a lot of different videos of me taste testing things. We had the alien dumplings, we had the... what did we have? We had the Mickey burgers. So if you'd like to see that video, please leave me a comment down below. My favourite thing to do in any Disney park is watch the parades and the shows. At the moment, Tokyo Disneyland has the parade Dream Up, and this parade was so special. The floats were amazing. Literally, they had different parts that moved. They had all sorts of different characters. They even had a Baymax float, which is something you never really see in the other parks. My favourite float for sure though was the Peter Pan float, because Peter and Wendy literally flew. Like, I have a video of it which I'll insert now, but it was so magical. The song also for this parade was so catchy. Don't think I got it out of my head for a whole month after we came home. With this specific parade as well, we actually got a lot of like waves and like interactions from the characters that were in it. which made the whole experience of the parade so much more special than some of the other parades you see in the other parks. I think that this is maybe because Tokyo Disneyland Resort is actually a bit more adult based. I think there's a lot more adult customers that go compared to like the American parks and Paris. I think they do give more attention. They got a lot more waves, a lot more kisses, and it was really nice to experience that, which we don't usually get in like America because usually the little kids get all the waves and all the smiles and things like that. Tokyo Disneyland at the moment also has a nighttime parade, which is really rare at the moment in any Disney park. I'm not sure why, they seem to be getting rid of them, but I am an absolute sucker for a nighttime parade. There's no better way of ending the day other than obviously a Disney fireworks show. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that in Tokyo last year, but the nighttime parade ended the most perfect day in Disneyland, and I couldn't have wanted it any differently. So that's the end of this week's video. Next week's video will be on Tokyo Disney Sea, which is the other park in the Tokyo Disneyland Resort, and there are some amazing things in that park. I like to argue that is the best Disney park ever, so make sure to check that out next week. If you like this video, don't forget to go give it a big thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss next week's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!